everyone, Barrett Merrill here. Another episode of Between Sessions where we get to hear from everyday counselors who are helping us engage our stories so we can heal and thrive. Today I'm joined with Mims of Gleam Counseling here in Birmingham. Super great to have you today. So Anna Gray focuses heavily on couples counseling and specifically on the Gottman method. I first heard about John Gottman a handful of years ago by one of his more noteworthy studies around examining tons and tons of different couples and examining their physical body language, their affect, their tone of voice. And it was fascinating because he was able to predict with a high level of certainty what couples would stay together and which ones wouldn't. And he really landed on this idea of contempt. If contempt was present, a lot of times that was incredibly toxic for the relationship. What is it about contempt that is such a detrimental piece in a relationship? And how can people start to engage in contempt and transform it into something more healthy?
Yeah, for sure. That study is so fascinating, and contempt is one of the four horsemen that Gottman found leads to relationship separation. But as you said, it is the most dangerous if it becomes a pattern. Essentially, contempt is scanning the environment, looking for your partner's mistakes, and looking for a way to make yourself feel superior. So contempt sounds like, I'm better, smarter, neater, cleaner than you, or my way is right and your way and you are wrong, or an idiot for thinking that. Contempt also looks like mockery, sarcasm, eye rolling, anything that puts you above your partner. What we do about contempt in session is I'll gently point out to a partner that perhaps what they said sounded a little contemptuous, and I'll engage them in reframing whatever they said. Or if it was a nonverbal behavior like eye rolling, I might point it out to them because perhaps they're even unaware that they're doing it. And then we use the anecdote for contempt, which is them sharing their needs and feelings and thoughts instead of engaging in something to put their partner down.
Yeah.
Because likely they're feeling hurt, or there's something they're missing. They're not expressing that because that feels too vulnerable.
Yeah.
But kind of attacking their partner in some way feels safer.
It sounds like, and I'm assuming you experience this a lot, where you're sitting down with a couple and there's stuff coming out from both parties. What does it look like to create a space where even when I'm feeling hurt or I'm feeling triggered by something, but I know my partner is as well, how do you create a space where both can be safe and start to disarm some of that maybe hostility they're feeling and become a little more open to one another's experience?
A big principle in Gottman is listening to understand first. And so often there'll be a speaker and a listener, and one partner will share their experience. And it's the role of the listener to repeat back and summarize what they heard and validate first before they even talk about their experience.
Yeah.
So what we do is create a space where sharing needs and feelings is valued and important, and I mirror that. If I hear someone share something that seemed really personal or painful for them, we slow down and I explore that with them. And the partner is then seeing that. Eventually I'll ask them to turn towards one another and they can start doing it for themselves. When things are getting more hostile, we take a break because we're not going to get anywhere. That's probably the pattern that's playing out at home, and so we don't want to mimic that in this office. I'll intervene and say, hey, it sounds like we're not getting anywhere. Let's engage in some psychological self-soothing or just take a minute before we move forward, so that they aren't saying things like they
Doing this is courageous work. When you start to dig into your story and your experience, your belief system, your emotions, your sensations, it's courageous and it's hard work. A lot of stuff has happened over the years to get us to this point in our experience. Where do you see engaging or understanding your history, your chronology, your story comes into play in all of this?
If you're human, you have a story, and engaging with that story is how we answer life's fundamental questions. Who am I? Um, why do I choose the relationships I do? Why do I feel the things that I do? What makes me me? And our stories show us the answers. So often people feel like they're floating through life, just being blown by the wind. They don't feel grounded. And engaging with your story helps you feel grounded because you know the answers to those questions. That's why I think it's so important and special. I think we avoid doing that work because if we're going to engage with our stories, then by nature we have to engage with the painful parts of our stories. And we think if we do that, we won't come out of it. And that's a myth our brain tells us, really to protect us, because it wants to keep us safe and regulated. But the truth is, until we engage the painful part of our stories, they're in control of us and we're not really in control of them. We're making meaning of them and learning from them so that we can move forward healed.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Anna Gray. Also, just as a quick shout out, you're taking clients, aren't you? So go check out Gleam Counseling if you're looking to refer someone or for yourself. But this has been another episode of Between Sessions.